Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our galaxy, it is with my highest honor and privilege that today we have a special guest who has been lurking in the shadows, protecting us from the evils of the underworld on Coruscant. Everyone, please give yourselves an air horn for... I forgot your camera. For AP Gains! Everyone, one more air horn. Bring him on over here, my friend. What a Gary! Oh, jeez. AP Gains, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across the galaxy. Say hi. Introduce yourselves to the masses out there right now, the billions upon billions in your presence as we speak.
Well, as the Coruscant Underworld Police Chief of the 69th Precinct, there are a lot of responsibilities that fall upon me. Protecting the Empire. You know, the Empire doesn't exist in the 69th Precinct.
Speaking true.
68 and above, the Empire gets some pretty good control down there, but it's still the Republic down here, baby. We're the wild, wild west of the Coruscant Underworld. But happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. If you guys don't know, please check him out. The reason why I'm bringing him on today is because he also does like a free-to-play series as well as his main account on his channel. So one, I want to introduce you to him so you have another perspective on free-to-play farming and what the life is like and some other alternatives to farming plans out there. And as you may have seen in the initial screen, Gary dropped down on us. I want to bring AP Gains on to talk about the variety of great farming paths that you can take, because there's really not one. There's at least 5 to 10 different paths. Or new players come to Galaxy of Heroes, we want to give you a lot of options based on your preferential style when it comes to playing video games like Galaxy of Heroes, Hero Collector games, that is. So we have a couple of categories trying to encapsulate the variety of players that are going to exist out there. And the first one I want to talk about first with you is what do you think is going to be the best farming path in general, a balanced farming path that can tackle several game modes at once? So we're not focusing on Grand Arena, not focusing on Arena or the raids. You want that catch-all, the Mario of Mario Kart, the balanced in all areas. I'll give you a second to throw some stuff, but then I'll kind of throw my 2 cents in.
Well, I think, fortunately, the best overall general hit every game mode strategy is kind of similar to other strategies in that you want to get a bunch of solid teams. It's going to be kind of similar to a GAC focus, but we're not going to prevent ourselves from inflating GP and worrying too much about mods and doing all of the boring stuff that makes us GAC fiends. We're going to have a little bit more fun. We're going to hop in some conquests, get all the way through our normal mode early. We're going to hop in some galactic challenges because they suck, but we're going to get some
You gotta do it, yeah.
We'll do some good stuff in GAC. We'll have some fun in Squad and Fleet Arena. And we'll enjoy Galaxy of Heroes. Is that a novel idea? Can we enjoy Galaxy of Heroes in 2021?
We did a meme review on his channel. I don't know if it's going to be up today, but please be sure to check out the video we did on his channel. We did a meme review, and one of the memes were new players asking veterans, when does the fun start happening? And it said, well, that's the neat part. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But in general, you know, we want to give you a path that in your first year of playing, you're tackling several varieties of things out there. So I'm going to pull up my farming guide right here. There'll be a link in the top right hand corner if you want a more in-depth breakdown on all these different teams. But looking at this guide right here, this is basically, I mean, no matter what farming path you go down, this is just a fact. This is how you get all the legendaries out there in the game. What would be the faction or the big legendary you would chase after within your first year of Galaxy Heroes, so you're being a flexible player in this game?
For overall farming strategy, I mean, there's some characters like Galactic Legends, of course, Gas, Bam, the greatest guy ever. Don't farm Bam, please.
No, we'll talk about that more towards the end here. But yeah, there's a couple of them. I mean, obviously, I'm going down the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren path. I've been enjoying this path a lot personally. We've been having a lot of success. Maybe not number one in the variety of game modes, but I'm top 10 Ranker raid, top 10 AAT raid, top 10 Sith Triumvirate raid, and that's all important for garnering gear. I'm able to do well in Galactic Challenges, maybe not doing tier 7, but you're gonna, or what's the highest tier nowadays? They adjust it. Maybe you're not doing the highest tier. Yeah, you're not doing the highest tier in probably in your first few months of playing Galaxies, but I'm able to do pretty decently, at least getting 69% maybe up in the Galactic Challenges perhaps. And and the great thing I like about the First Order farm, which is the focus of mine, is that it forces you to work on ships and characters at the same time. So I'm doing decent in the Squad Arena. When I don't climb, I'm 300. When I'm climb, I'm 200s. And I can get top 10 Fleet Arena without really even trying. So that is my first path. That is what I'm advocating for. But I think you can agree with me. The downside of going down the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren path like myself is if you care about Grand Arena, which is a fun mode, of course, you're not going to have as many legendary teams put together. Is that, you probably would agree, that's probably the main drawback, is if you like Grand Arena, which is I think is the most fun game mode, maybe not the best game mode for growing your roster in terms of getting gear and stuff like that. Maybe stay away from the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren grind if you want to be a lot more competitive in Grand Arena. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you hit on that really well. Every farming guide is going to have its ups, its downs, its pros, its cons. Of course, you're going to be getting lots of resources, and resources are, at the end of the day, what help your account grow, which is why when people say, yo, AP Gains doesn't say Rush Galactic Legends, well, I just love GAC so much because I think it's fun. But the truth of the matter is GAC doesn't give you a lot of those crystals, those resources to help improve your account. I just think that it's a fun game mode. So when I do it, we don't have a lot of good squad arena climbs. We're not getting a lot of crystals. What we have is a more broad roster because the downside for you for the Galactic Legend Rush is sometimes you just don't have enough teams. Sometimes you can't full clear because you place a stronger defense, this, that, or the other, which can be annoying. But at the end of the day, Grand Arena is not the end of the world. You're still growing your account. So I think that's the thing that people don't realize is there's pros and cons to everything. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I did this past month was my first true full month of Grand Arena in Division 11. I did a little bit of 5v5 before, but we only got it to Grand Arena midway because we hit level 85 midway through the season. I still had a ton of fun in Grand Arena, and it wasn't really too much of team placement. You really got to understand your roster of how to best use defensively or offensively. So no matter what path you're going down, Grand Arena is going to be a learning process to kind of figure out, all right, how much can you put on defense? How much do you need on offense? And a lot of times it's an efficiency game. Some of my best opponents were first order farms as well, and they were just maybe slightly more efficient, getting that one extra banner and ship or something like that. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a learning process, but if you definitely care about Grand Arena, slightly broader roster with more teams might be the way to go. Now, I know I'm going to get this question. This is kind of in the same umbrella as Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. What are your thoughts on the Gucci man himself, the Sith Eternal? Because it is kind of like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, where it's a pretty accessible, I say that with air quotes, galactic legend. But I just want to put it out there because I see a lot of people asking me Supreme Leader Kylo Ren versus Sith Eternal. Would you categorize Sith Eternal as the balanced overall experience that Supreme Leader Kylo Ren might offer?
I think Supreme Leader Kylo Ren does better at the things that you want from a Galactic Legend Rush. Raids, climbing, and squad arena and stuff like that. He's got characters that have great ships. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's requirements seem to be a little bit... Some of them aren't so useful, like, you know, Maul and Krennic and stuff like that, but you can get some solid teams out of it. You get a nice Vader, especially if you're rushing. He can do some solos. Anakin, you can put together some sort of Galactic Republic, like Padme team going on in there. We have Sidious, who is the greatest character that we've ever given. He gives us some great healing immunity and stuff like that.
Oh man!
So he's going to be a little bit easier to acquire, and the requirements maybe aren't as good as Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I never thought there'd be a day in Galaxy of Heroes where I'd say Galactic Legend requirements are better than something else. But yeah. I think C's faster, SLKR is better at doing Galactic Legend type stuff, but that's a decision you guys are going to eventually have to make for yourselves.
Exactly. And here's the other thing. We're going to talk about efficient paths to tackle a variety of efficient degrees of Galaxy Heroes. But at the end of the day, my biggest tip is going to be, you know, pick a path that you like the most in terms of farming a character you love in Star Wars. If you love Sith Eternal, go for it. Maybe he's not the best, he doesn't have the best requirements to get him, but at the end of the day, the Galaxy is a personalized experience. We're mostly focused on an efficiency standpoint. So why don't we talk about the next group of people that are out there that get the most pleasure out of Galaxy Heroes by getting the most legendaries as fast as possible. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be better off because not every legendary is good. And just because you're legendary, not all legendaries are made equal out there. What path would you recommend people if they take pleasure in unlocking as many legendaries as possible, especially once hit that level 85? I have a couple ideas, but I want to pass the mic over to you. What would you recommend for people to chase after for that category?
Well, if we're talking about just in the terms of the first year, which I think how we structure this video, of course, Phoenix is going to be the starting team. You get two legendaries right after that with Thrawn, Emperor Palpatine. You can get, I oftentimes tell people to get Rebels, but Rebels you can farm in there, the CLS Rebels to be exact. You can get a Commander Luke Skywalker out of there. You can go for some early bounty hunters to get Chewbacca to throw with that. Hopefully you're getting some Han Solo in there and the raids and stuff like that. But that's generally how you can get a lot of Galactic Legends early. Some of those, like, I'm not a huge, from a GAC perspective, obviously, not from a legendary's perspective, because I guess that's just how my weird GAC
Yeah,
brain
I get
works.
it.
I'm not a huge Phoenix guy, but in terms of legendaries, I mean, I was in that stream where you finally beat through that 7-star Emperor Palpatine, and man, I was excited. That was some pretty great stuff going on over there. So
yeah,
definitely a lot of dopamine on that strategy.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that is definitely one of the fun parts. I want to bring it up because some people like that feeling of getting a legendary unlock. It's a dopamine effect of some sort. Phoenix, yeah, maybe not the greatest team overall. That is a team where once you hit like level 80, 82, and you get the right gear to get these 2 legendaries, you pretty much stop. But yeah, if you are going to go for the most legendaries possible, Phoenix is really the place to go, and they're so easy to farm. So by the time you hit level 85, you're easily going to have things like Hera. You're going to have things like Kanan leading up to Emperor Palpatine and Thrawn. And then, yeah, you can get together the Rebels from Stormtrooper Han, Farm Boy Luke, and then getting R2-D2, of course. So if you are going for the most legendaries possible, obviously, Phoenix is definitely going to be the best way to go down. Is there any other routes you maybe would recommend? I was kind of
you can get some Jedi going on for Yoda and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next part. So yeah, pretty much Jedi Rebels are probably going to be your best bet. If by the time it'll hit level 85, you're going to get the most legendaries out as possible. Now, this is the topic I'm going to pass over to you, mostly you, because you care about this one a lot. Grand Arena. I already kind of gave an early introduction. Grand Arena, I would argue, is probably the most fun game mode. I know there's a lot of people that hate Grand Arena with a burning passion, and I completely understand that. But if you're someone that likes Grand Arena, maybe you've been playing Galaxy Heroes already for a long time, or you're someone that watches the streams like, oh man, that's where the excitement is for me. What would be the best path to chase after for your first year of playing? To go down, to be the Grand Arena master, to be the best there ever was, to dominate Grand Arena is your real test, to be #1 is your cause. Hopefully you know that reference. I think that's kind of a universal reference right there, right? You've seen Pokemon?
Yeah, that's the Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Okay, you're fun. All right, take it away. What do you recommend here?
Well, of course, I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form. I might be a corrupt public defender of the 69th precinct, the most underfunded and undergeared precinct in all of Coruscant's underworld. But the AP Gains approved strategy offers so many fantastic things for all of you GAC players out there. The AP Gains approved strategy kind of goes along the lines of, it's similar to let's get lots of legendaries. It just happens to be a byproduct. We're getting our CLS rebels for CLS. We're getting our Galactic Republic so that we can have a strong Padme team. And we don't use Geonosians for Padme. We get some Geonosians in there. We eventually phase them out because we have so many good teams. But how do we unlock Padme? We use Django to unlock Padme. He solos the Padme event. AP Gain's greatest gift to Galaxy of Heroes is Django beating Padme.
Definitely check that out. Yeah, I've been itching to gear up my 7-star Django on my main account because I had to farm him as a result of Hounds 2. And it's like, oh man, I really want to gear him up for Grand Arena, but also I want to try that out with Django and Padme. I'm sorry though. Continue. I had to chime in there for a moment.
It's okay. Anyone who wants to acknowledge my greatness and my one crowning achievement, Django versus Padme, I'm totally okay with it. But now that we have a strong Django, he goes into a bounty hunter team. Oh, and we can use that to unlock Chewbacca. Oh, Chewbacca goes with CLS. Oh, that's so fantastic. There you go. We have that. Oh, we got a couple of Jedi going on. Maybe we have Kanan, so we can maybe one day progress over into the Thrawn area. Oh, we have a Yoda. Yoda goes great with Bastila Shan, doesn't he? Now, when we're in level 85, if I open up, you can't see this, obviously. We go into my my girlfriend, Nikki Biggs, the greatest free-to-play account of all time.
And ever will be, right?
Ever. I left out one important thing. We got to get first relic. Donald, do you know what the most important relic is?
Cup.
Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader. Do you know why Darth Vader has to be our most powerful character? Because when AP Gains was a young lad, he played Star Wars Monopoly, and he was afraid that if he didn't play as Darth Vader, Vader would make him choke on his aspirations in his sleep. So if you guys look into your roster and Darth Vader is not the most powerful, and I'm looking at you, Arnold. I know what you're talking about.
My Darth Vader is amazing. Guys. I have a Relic 8 Darth Vader on my free-to-play account. Never a day. I gotta say, it might sound like he's coming across as joking, but even my Vader at Gear 9, and I threw on a Zeta because I let my audience vote on one of my Zetas, he kicks butt, even at Gear 9. So that is the reason why he's bringing it up. At Vader, one, he could solo a lot of teams, especially that Merciless Massacre, and especially have high relics on the guy. He could do some really crazy stuff. So what AP Gains is saying, if I can kind of summarize real quick, is kind of building up your Separatists or your Django, which leads you to some Bounty Hunters, Padme Amidala, some Jedi that can get you Grandmaster, which also funnels well with the Bastila Shan Jedi team and Jedi Knight Revan. That's kind of in a capsule what you're recommending, right?
Pretty much. So the way it works out is I've actually planned it. So once you hit level 85, you're going to have a nice... We're going to use Vader solo at that point. He's not going to be relic, of course. He could be, but, you know,
Gear 12 does a lot of work. I've seen Gear 12 Vader's wreck nerds.
But we basically, once we hit level 85, we have a nice Padme team, we have a nice Bastila Shan team, we have a great CLS team that does some good stuff, and we have a Geonosian team. So we have efficient offensive teams that our opponents can't deal with, and we place hard counters on defense, so they're not either clearing, which almost never happens, Nicole never gets cleared, or they're losing a lot of banners. And when you only do 3 battles on offense and only have 3 teams on defense,
you don't have a lot of wiggle room.
There's not a big margin, so those extra 1 banners from undersizes are pretty great. So that's the pitch on the AP Gains approved farming strategy.
And I do like that because one, it's great for those that are focused on Grand Arena, and to some capacity, again, we're looking at your first year of Galaxy. To some capacity, it also kind of dips into getting a lot of legendaries unlocked. And that 1 year time frame, maybe not as much as what we mentioned earlier, but still, nonetheless, you're kind of dipping in a couple of great legendary characters overall in the game. So I think that is a very feasible plan for your first year of playing. If you really love Grand Arena and you get some pleasure out of unlocking a good chunk of legendaries, that's a great one to go down. And we have 2 more categories I want to talk about here. Firstly, there's a lot of people that focus on the arenas, and rightfully so, because that is where you're going to get all, or primarily, majority of your crystals. So what would you recommend for people that want to focus in their first year, maximizing their squad arena climb, maximizing their fleet arena climb? If it happens to work for Grand Arena, cool, but they're not going to cry if they end up being last in Grand Arena for a whole entire season. What would you recommend for that path here?
Well, if we're strictly talking about in the first year, of course, if you go rush for SLKRC, after you unlock those characters, you'll start to climb up. But we're talking about that first year. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to maybe go for a Revan, a Jedi Knight Revan, or a Darth Revan. Maybe you go for both, so you can get a Malix, you have a really powerful Darth Revan team. Some people go, you know, straight and they go for gas, which is a long farm, but if you can get them early enough, you can climb really far. Best non-galactic legend team out there. But really what's important is that you pick a squad, we get high relics, we stay efficient, we make sure we mod. And a lot of thing that people don't pay too much attention to is you can get into a good guild. You don't have to have all of this fantastic stuff. There are people out there, and being in a good guild is probably the most important thing for growing your roster. Mostly because you can keep growing in squad arena if you get higher and higher gear, higher and higher relics, better mods. You get your mod synergy down so that you have, you know, turn meter going in your certain direction. But you can get those if you can get into not a great team, but a team that does Darkside Geonosis territory battles. Yeah, my guild, I'm not in doing that one, unfortunately. That's my biggest problem right now, is I'm not in a guild that can do GOTB. We're in Hoth territory battles. So get 2 tokens is a little bit more of a problem, but you could probably find a guild that might be able to eke you into a GOTB, at least Darkside. Of some sort. That's the thing, though. It's not eking in. I've hundreds, if not thousands, of people we have shoved it. There are thousands of guys. People don't realize how many guilds there are, and they have room at the bottom. And if you're a good guy, you do your dailies, make some tickets. Do your dailies, you can get like AP gains. You can be backpacked to some maybe nice you can too. Live the dream like AP gains. So I guess the long story short of this is it's almost like a galactic legend rush, but it's a Revan rush. You want to get these Revans as soon as possible, and you're primarily going to be putting all of your relics and gear into these teams. So it's not going to be as widespread as like a Grand Arena focused roster. Because I do see a couple of Jedi Knight Revan farms in Grand Arena, and I find them to be the easiest to beat out of a lot of the legendaries I fight, because they're all focused on that Revan. And the individual characters, they make good teams, but not a lot of them have great standalone viability to do some fun, so like Kylo Ren solo or something like that. So this is definitely more of a maximizing your squad arena farm, trying to climb as high as possible for those arena crystals. And this is a very rare type of person out there, but some people, they don't care about PvP, they care about PvE. So what teams would you recommend, you think, for people trying to maximize the raids? Or maybe even a GOTB is kind of an indirect result of farming just any good team in general, but if you're more focused on the PvE type of the game, because that's what you enjoy, what would you personally recommend? Well, a lot of, for the raids, I mean, most guilds now, of course, are going to sim the pit and stuff like that, and sim the tank. If you don't have a guild that's in there, I mean, Arnold has fantastic videos on what the great teams are for the pit and for the tank raid. Jawas. But if you're a newer, if you're a newer player trying to get some damage in on the Sith raid, you're probably not going to have a good gas P1 team, which is what a lot of people are going to use. What you got to do is you got to get like a team like a Shakti Clones or a Steel, something that does a lot of damage really quickly. just like AP games, once that P2 is opened, oh man, it's the
you're
wild
dumping
west of
damage.
and even if you have a mediocre Shock T clones team, you're going to be punching up a lot higher in terms of placement in your guild for damage. If you can just be the person who's there, whenever your guild, goes through the heroic Sith raid, and you get as much damage as humanly possible on that P2, and then you have the guys at the top who are going to solo the whole raid and stuff like that. So teams that do a lot of offense, like a Shock T clones or a CLS team, or even a strong Relic Padme team that can get some good courage, are going to get you great rewards in the heroic Sith raid. Yeah,
I see a lot of people do this where and this is kind of double dips as well. Yeah, not everyone's chasing after Shock T clones first solely because they're basically this full autos AAT raid does some great stuff in the Sith Trumpet raid. This also indirectly connects to, or it directly connects to General Anakin Skywalker. So it's not just, hey, I'm doing well in the raids with this team early on in the game. You're leading towards a very solid legendary, with that being General Anakin Skywalker. So if you are someone that really cares about PV, Geonosis, Territorial, if you are fortunate enough to do Republic Offensive, or you care about raid performances, this right here is going to be probably the team to dive bomb first into. Very solid team, and getting that General Anakin Skywalker, baby, you're going to be carried for a long time with General Anakin Skywalker. General Anakin Skywalker is kind of a patience grind, just like Galactic Legends, but you can do a lot of fun stuff with PvE stuff in this game. Now, I want to talk about a few things before we wrap up this video. We talked about Sith Throne, we talked about Superior Power Run, but we did not mention Rey, Jedi Master Luke, and Jedi Master Kenobi. I'll chime in and Beskar Mando. We kind of touched about almost every other faction out there, but why have we avoided those 3 Galactic Legends and Beskar Mando?
Well, for JML, it's quite apparent that a lot of the characters required are get 1 farms, which take away from some other stuff, but also it takes time to actually acquire that currency, which is why a lot of people don't rush, because it's not something that you wail on, if you had the access to the Republic or the Empirical credit card. My mom took mine away, so I can't do that. But there's pizza rolls. And JML, who we call Glock over in the 69th precinct, we call him Glock.
Nice.
Galactic Legends Obi-Wan Kenobi, because just a fantastic name.
Yeah.
But you have to have Watt, which takes time. So characters, Galactic Legends that have time requirements,
it's not feasible in the first year. Yeah, and what about Rey? Rey is kind of feasible in the first year-ish. But if you're gonna, unless you just love Rey, I just feel like she's just that Galactic Legend that's just good in everything, but doesn't excel in anything specifically. She's great in the challenge ranker raid, I suppose, but I think Supreme Leader Kyle Ren, if you are debating on a Galactic Legend to rush, I feel like Supreme Leader Kyle Ren is going to be a bit superior over Rey, which is why we didn't really mention her. She's just a decent balanced all over. I say balanced. She's annoying as heck in Grand Arena, but nonetheless, she's just not as good as some of these other ones, I think, if you're trying to excel in something in the game. And lastly, and certainly least, we're going to talk about the trash in the room, the Beskar trash, though. And Galactic Legend Mando. It's funny enough, this free-to-play account this year, I've seen a lot of people rush for this right away. And if you love Mandalorian, just the TV show, again, I'm not going to hate you if you just want Mandalorian because you love the Mandalorian TV show. A lot of people know that he's not the best legendary in the game. He's a bit lackluster compared to a lot of other Journey characters we've had in the game. Now, I do want to press before we let you have the mic. There's a good chance I think Beskar Mando might have a bigger future down the road, whether another character making him better. Who knows? Maybe Commander Ahsoka Tano for all we know. Or maybe a Galactic Legend down the road. Hero of Mandalore, Darksaber Mando, whatever you want to call it. Could happen down the road, but I feel like if you're...
Spoilers?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I know. I got to give a 5-year notice for that, right? But if you're someone that's looking in efficiency, this, although accessible, you can easily get this by pretty much before you get level 85 practically. It's probably a path. It's a path to nowhere. It's the bridge to nowhere. If you're someone that's into Alaskan politics or whatever the heck the topic is all about. Do you have anything else you want to throw on the fire here in regards to Beskar Mando? It's kind of one of those. It's just best to wait and see where it goes in the future.
The thing I really, really hate about Mando, the Beskar armor variant, the original variant, is fantastic.
He's god tier, man.
So good.
Yeah.
I wish their kits were switched. It would be awesome.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah.
I farmed him up. I have him at gear 8. Because we used to only be able to get those slicing materials, and then they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna get rid of that. So I wasted like 3 months of my life farming character that I never used. And then they took it away from me, Arnold. They took it away from me. Just like my child's custody when Nicole's gonna leave me. They took it away from me.
They took my money away from me. Now I just have a dusty trophy. Beskar trophy sitting in the closet that I use practically never, it seems like, in this game. So that's pretty much
sorry, go for it.
One
last thing. When we get Galactic Legend Hondo. I always say Holdo for some reason. His ship is gonna be nice, man. That bounty hunter fleet is gonna be real nice.
I've been having fun with it. It's not god tier. It's competitive. But that is something good to point out. I mean, assuming we have to wait and see how the ship will be farmable down the road. But Beskar Mando does have a very decent ship, and I think there's a lot of building blocks we could be seeing down the road, or maybe even those ship load of changes, whatever the heck that was in reference to that they mentioned. So I think with Beskar Mando, it's a waiting game. I think he will have a bigger future, so this video will be outdated. Who knows? Maybe Hero of Mandalore is going to be like the best galactic legend to game sometime down the road. Any other last words you want to share, my friend, with the audience in regards to this, or in regards to anything? The floor is all yours. I'm getting Gary, switch it on over to him. Speak your mind before we wrap up this video.
This is nice. Some nice floor space for me. Well, you know, it's the summer of the 69th. The 69th precinct is, of course, the greatest community in Galaxy of Heroes. I heard something about an empire. Yeah. But I hope you guys all have a fantastic summer of the 69th. Make sure to drop a like. If we don't get 20 trillion likes on this video, I will quit YouTube. Maybe that's an incentive to not like the video. I don't know. Maybe I've put you in a rabbit hole here. But thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. A real dream for me. A real Arnold fanboy has appeared, just like you guys. I told you, get the POW Leadership Zeta and Arnold will read your chat on stream. Well, if you get the Biston Leadership Zeta, he'll let you be on a video.
Don't get too cocky, kid. Maybe one of these days. But thank you so much for coming out. I see a lot of me and you in my early days of YouTube. So AP Gains, thank you so much for coming by. Please be sure to check out his channel and check out his own free-to-play Grand Arena farming pad so you can kind of get a more ground experience with him. But until then, like AP Gains said, hit that like button, comment down below on all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And AP Gains, what do we always say around here?
Long live the Republic, baby.
That's right, baby. Cue out the outro!